Hey everybody, welcome back to Reselling History. This is Scott, your boy. I got another unboxing video, but this one's going to be a little different because I also want to talk about why I appreciate vintage watches and why I collect them. Now, I do read the comments from you viewers and I appreciate every comment, positive or negative, but there have been a couple of comments lately from viewers, and one in particular really made me sit and think because this person was saying that vintage watches like these that I usually unbox are not true timepieces. I don't really know what they mean by that, but they mentioned that once I get into Rolex, Patek Philippe, like these really expensive luxury brands, that's when I will truly appreciate and have a true timepiece. Now, I definitely don't agree with that. For one, not everybody can afford a watch like that. And number two, it goes deeper than just monetary value for me when it comes to vintage timepieces. Now, I know I talk about how much something is worth a lot, and my channel is called Reselling History, and I am an antique dealer. But in this box here are different reasons why I appreciate vintage watches, and I think these watches in here are the perfect example to share with you guys. If you guys like this type of content, please like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate the support. And really quick, here's my wristwatch check for the day. This is my vintage Timex Electric from 1971. And I got this in the last video you guys saw. I put this new old stock diver band on it, and it's looking pretty snazzy. So let's get into this box right here, and I'll show you guys what I mean. All right, first up, you guys, I got this in a little junk lot. It's a vintage Caravel, which is owned by Bulova, I believe. It's a skin diver. Unfortunately, it's missing the case back, which is pretty much a bummer. But I don't have any money into this watch right here. I might just hold on to it and maybe I'll find a case back for it. And it doesn't run. It's definitely gonna need a repair. But this is a cool vintage watch. I love skin diver watches because, well, it really tells you that it's from the 1960s or early 70s when so many watch brands were putting out these watches. Next up, you guys, we got a little grouping right here that I paid $100 for. And these watches are very unique. They're probably from the 19-teens. They're like a trench watch style. This one is actually a pocket watch, and it's made out of a shell type, like abalone. I think it's called abalone shell, something like that. This one's not running, unfortunately. But yeah, I paid $100, maybe a little more than I'd like to, but I really just appreciated the look of them, and whoever had these back in the day had them custom made. They really had a good sense of style. I mean, you got a purple one, a green one, a blue one, and a white one. It's like one for every dress she had, which is a great sense of fashion. But this one does work right here, the purple one. I think this is the only one that's and this one right here is running. Now let me open up the case, and here's the movement here. It's unbranded, it just says Swiss made, but I'd imagine this is probably from like the 19-teens, and it is sterling silver. It has an English mark for silver. But yeah, I'll probably throw a little women's band on here and try to sell this for $100, but I'm not going to make a whole lot of money off this stuff. But you just see something sometimes and you really appreciate the history and the craftsmanship and detail of it, and that's what I did here. I bought this stuff because it just kind of talked to me. And this next little grouping, you guys, there's one special watch in here. I'll just set off to the side right there. And I paid $75 for this stuff, and there's one watch that is just beautiful, beautiful. But first, I'll show you this. This is just a Whitnauer, probably from the 1980s, mechanical watch. Simple black dial with a diamond stud, probably a fake diamond stud. And then you got a couple of women's watches here, which I've never heard of this watch company before. It's called La Fer, and it's probably French based off that name. It's got a little lighthouse on the back. I love coming across these watch companies that are obscure, and maybe this isn't obscure, maybe I just don't know about it. But it's always fascinating learning about their history. And there's another one right here. And both of these do run. I have tested them already. Not sure the value of those, probably $20 each at least. And then we have your typical mid-century men's Bulova, self-winding, automatic, and this does work. It is I think it's a gold-filled or plated bezel. This is probably at least a $50 watch, and you can easily tell this is from the probably, I'm gonna say early 60s, just based off of how it looks. And then we have another mid-century Bulova watch, and it does run. It is gold, rolled gold plated. And this is something else I appreciate about vintage watches, and that's the dial. A lot of times the dial will have aging, character, and patina that has taken a long time to develop. And some people might not prefer that. I do, and if it does, I'm never gonna get it refinished. Some people like that new refinish look, but that is just not who I am. This took a long time to form, kind of like this oxidation. And it's not the best example. There are way better examples, tropical dials out there. But I appreciate that look. I appreciate the old look of the dial because it gives it character. And it kind of does also tell a story when you look at it. And lastly, you guys, is this amazing special Chateau Cadillac watch. And as you can see, it's got some luminescent dials. I have tested it already, and it's not a radium dial, which makes me happy. This watch really stood out to me because it just screams 1920s, early Art Deco era. I can just imagine, I don't know if you guys seen The Great Gatsby. I could just imagine Leonardo DiCaprio's character wearing this watch at one of his grand parties. It is just a beautiful, beautiful watch. The case will need a little bit of cleaning, but dials usually don't come like this when a watch is 100 years old, and this dial looks pretty phenomenal. I also love these hinged cases. It's like you can turn your watch into a display for people. But this looks wonderful, this watch. Let's look at the movement. But here's the movement, you guys. It's made by a company called Solomax Watch Co., and it's only a 6 jewel movement. It's gonna need to be serviced because it does run, but when it does, it runs pretty fast. Any Solomax watches I can find online, they're usually from the 1920s, and they all have like these beautiful Art Nouveau type of dials. Some of them even have an exploding dial. But when this watch gets serviced, I think this is easily going to be like a $200 or $300 watch. All right, you guys, I'm down to my last 2 watches I wanted to share with you. And if you guys like this video and this type of content, don't hesitate to subscribe. Really appreciate the support. And the first watch I'm going to show you here is in this protective plastic case. And this is a vintage Elgin from the 1920s. And it is gold, 14 karat gold filled. I have it in here, you guys, because, let me zoom out a little. I have it in here because I tested this watch with my Geiger counter, and it does have a really hot radium dial. So I'm trying to keep it like double in plastic, and then I put it in a case, and I keep it in a separate room. Now these 2 watches right here, I only paid, I think I only paid $50 for these watches. And this one alone should bring me that money back. It does need to be serviced, and obviously it needs a crystal. But this is a really cool case. It's got kind of like your typical gentleman's watch Art Deco case from the 20s, 30s era, tank style. So that's a neat watch, but this next one is really special. All right, you guys, well, here is the last watch, and this is also an Elgin, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful watch, impeccable dial, and it's from I think it's 1928. It's an Elgin E1 series, and my favorite thing about this watch is the exploding dial, so the numbers kind of exploding outward. It doesn't really get more 1920s, late 20s than that. This is another watch that I can imagine them wearing in The Great Gatsby at a grand old party. The case is kind of scratched on the back, but this watch, unfortunately, it's not running at all. The crown is not turning, so this is going to need a service as well. But this was a great, great pickup, you guys, because when this is serviced, it's probably like a $300-400 watch just because of that dial. It's a really sought after dial, and just to get one in that condition is almost impossible. Now, don't pay much attention to the band. When I do get this service, I'm going to put a nice period matching steel bracelet to go with it. But there's your movement right there. You got the serial number, and most Elgin watches you can just do a search online with the serial number and find out what year it was made, what model, what type of movement. And then you got, I know a lot of you like looking at this too. Here's the inside the case back. There are some scribbles in there, so this has been serviced over the years. 14 karat gold filled. But to the people out there who think these aren't true timepieces, you guys couldn't be more wrong, because these watches, they really have so much craftsmanship from that era, and sometimes you can even tell what's going on in society at the time by looking at a watch like this one. If you appreciate history, there's a never-ending amount of vintage watches to add to your collection, a lot of times for a modest price too. So that's all for the video. Sorry for the rant, you guys. I hope you enjoyed these watches I shared with you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for supporting the channel. Take care.